And what's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning back into the channel today. I'm Zach Davis. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about dating the book of Revelation, specifically some comments from Robert Young, the one who wrote the literal translation of the Bible from 1898, and really discuss his comments on Irenaeus and how I think they're mistaken a lot of times in the way that people take them. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel down below. Appreciate you guys getting on here with us. I pray that this will be beneficial to you in at least seeing this. So the first question that we want to ask is, who is Robert Young? So Robert Young is someone who is Scottish. He was a publisher, an author. He was the son of a bookbinder. His dad worked in this industry, so it made sense for him to be a part of this industry. He was born September 10th, 1882, and he died October 14th in 1888. He had an emphasis on the Old Testament and specifically on the Hebrew language. And his most notable works are Young's literal translation of the Bible, which was revised in 1898, and the analytical concordance to the Bible that he wrote. So, in dating the book of Revelation, obviously, if the book was written after 70 AD, then it can't be about imminent events that take place in the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70, AD 66 to AD 70. So that's a really big sticking point for a lot of folks. A book that you need to make sure that you get is Before Jerusalem Fell by Ken Gentry. It's a really good resource. It goes into a lot of detail. It's a little technical, but it's well worth your time and well worth your read if you've never looked into the subject. So in order for things to be imminent, then from our understanding, from the preterist understanding of eschatology, and the book had to be written before AD 70. Well, there is a famous comment from an early church father named Irenaeus that often gets thrown around, and they say that the book of Revelation was written, according to Irenaeus, under the reign of Domitian in the year 95, 96, toward the end of his reign. And where they get that from is this comment. He says, "We will not, however, incur the risk of pronouncing positively as to the name of Antichrist, for if it were necessary that his name should be distinctly revealed in this present time, it would have been announced by him who beheld the apocalyptic vision. For it, or he, was seen not very long time since, but almost in our day, towards the end of Domitian's reign." So most people take that again to be 95, 96, the end of Domitian's reign. But Robert Young takes a little bit of a different slant on this. In his analytical concordance, he concludes, speaking on the book of Revelation, it was written in Patmos about AD 68, whether John had been banished by Domitius Nero, as stated in the title of the Syriac version of the book. And with this concurs the express statement of Irenaeus in AD 175, who says it happened in the reign of Domitianu, i.e., Domitius Nero. Sulpicius, Orosius, etc., stupidly mistaking Domitiano for Domitianakos, supposed Irenaeus to refer to Domitian in AD 95, and most succeeding writers have fallen into the same blunder. What he's saying is, when Irenaeus referenced Domitian, he was speaking of Domitius Nero, not of Domitianakos AD 95. So this word for Domitian was a title that was given, maybe like Pharaoh or Herod, that was understood of this leader, but they've applied it to the wrong one. So the end of the reign of Nero could have been roughly AD 68, which would be the year that he has passed away. Which would cause a serious issue for applying who this Domitian was. He continues, most succeeding writers have also fallen into the same blunder. The internal testimony is wholly in favor of the early dating of the book of Revelation. Well, if you only go by the Bible, then you're not going to come up with anything other than the book of Revelation being written before AD 70, because according to the book of Revelation, you can make the case in Revelation 11 that the temple was still standing. All of the timing indicators, nothing that's in the New Testament tells us that the temple had fallen. When the book of Hebrews was written, it still hadn't fallen. It hadn't been taken away yet. In order for everything in the rest of the epistles and in the gospels to be consistent with John's revelation. These are the same things that are seen and envisioned. All of the timing points you to the exact same event. And if that temple is still standing, which it was, if Irenaeus has a reference to Domitius Nero, then this makes a whole lot more sense. And I think Robert Young hit the nail on the head. I had never come across this idea probably until about a month ago, but I think this makes a whole lot of sense. Now, just because Irenaeus says something, that doesn't mean that I believe it. So we take it with a grain of salt. But if this is what he intended, I think it's a lot more consistent with the scripture. The reason I say that is because a lot of people will say, well, Irenaeus said this, that it was written at the end of the reign of Domitian, which would be 95 or 96. Okay, let's say it was that, and Robert Young's wrong about his view here. Irenaeus also believed Jesus' ministry lasted for 15 years and that he died in his 50s. I mean, he's fallible, okay? So it's not like we're going to take his word for it, but if that's the case, it's more consistent with what the Bible actually says when it doesn't ever mention the fall of Jerusalem or the temple in AD 70. So I just want to do a quick video on that and kind of give you some thoughts on it. I hope that's at least interesting to you. I had a guest with me today. Buddy, you want to come over and say hi? I got somebody with me. Come on. Come on. All right, he's going to be shy today. I couldn't get my son who's in the office with me to get on the channel. But thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe down below. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.